Bristol Motor Speedway.
Cole Custer talked about just getting in line. He was able to start, had to start on the bottom, was able to move up toward the top. That appears to be the preferred line. And he took advantage of getting up there in a hurry.
Brett Keselowski took advantage of Cole Custer backing off a little bit on the bottom of the racetrack to take over that second spot in the 19 Ford.
There's Ron Hornaday in the 30, Herman Quiroga in the 77.
I know all the crew chiefs said to these drivers, just log some laps as we see Brett Keselowski pull right up on the tailgate of Kyle Busch. We know we're going to stop at lap 50. Let's just log some laps and see where our trucks are.
I guarantee you no one told Brad or Kyle to log laps. These boys are going to race hard today. Brad Keselowski desperately wants to get that truck race win under his belt. Kyle Busch wants to sweep this weekend, and Keselowski is right on his tailgate.
Guys, the first caution flag has flown in the first 20 laps in 14 of the 16 previous truck races here.
That's what I said. They would like you to just log laps, but it doesn't happen here when you have fighting for position on this racetrack. How about Matt Crafton close to the inside of Greg Gaulding in that 20 truck? And that's what I'm going to be looking for early in this race, Phil. Who can go to the bottom and make a move? We've heard about how good the top is, but when you can go around someone like we just saw Matt Crafton do there on the bottom of the racetrack, and Brad Keselowski is attempting to do to our leader here, Kyle Busch, that is a strong truck. Not many trucks can do that.
Keselowski to the bottom, as you said. Michael, can he make it work?
And I think part of that is the fact that there's no rubber on the racetrack. The bottom hasn't rubbered up yet and got slick.
Keselowski slides up just a bit in that number 19, but he remains on the bottom.
He pokes his nose a bit ahead of Kyle.
We saw Brad Keselowski and Matt Kenseth run lap after lap in a cup race here 2 or 3 years ago, side by side.
And they remain side by side.
These guys are running laps only about 0.3 of a second off, 0.4 of a second off our pole, and they're doing it side by side.
Brad's won a nationwide race here. He's won 2 cup races here. So when we talk about all the accomplishments of Kyle Busch at Bristol, Brad is really good too.
And for all of Brad Keselowski's success, including a championship, he's never been to victory lane in a truck. Hard to believe.
And he just wants everybody to quit saying that.
He does. Yes, he does.
And we remind him of that all the time.
We do.
It's our job.
We had him in the booth with us last week at Michigan. We reminded him then that he hadn't had a win in the truck series.
Uh-oh, traffic. How will this play out? Looks like those trucks are side by side ahead of our leaders.
I think Brad may have the advantage. He's going to make it 3 wide.
Oh! Brad Keselowski to the bottom. That was crazy, boys.
What did you say, Phil? We're just going to log some laps.
Jody Knowles in that 80 truck.
That's taking advantage.
He just said, what happened?
Exactly. Where am I?
On board with Kyle Busch, Keselowski into the lead. Lap 13 of 200.
Well, surely you meant there was 13 laps to go, not lap 13.
No kidding. Let's take another look at what Keselowski just did.
Jody Knowles gets up on the outside of Norm Benning, and Brad sees an opportunity to take him 3 wide down into turn 1.
What a great move by Brad Keselowski. 13 laps into the race.
Back down outside wall here.
Trouble in turn 2.
Outside wall and drug on the apron.
Oh.
2 trucks involved. The 0-1 of Jake Crum.
Timothy Peters. That's the penalty from
pit road's open. Pit road's open.
That's the danger.
That's the danger and penalty from going to the back of the pack.
Right rear. No fuel. No fuel. We'll get the damage done.
First caution coming out on lap 15.
I believe the 99 of Brian Silas. That is Brian that was involved in this incident as well. That's Jake Crum, the 0-1 truck. A lot of damage to that one.
Timothy Peters involved as well. Let's take another look.
Fighting for space down on the bottom of the racetrack. The 0-1 got in to Brian Silas. Timothy Peters had committed to the top, tried to get it slowed down, wasn't able to before making contact with Jake Crum.
You can see TJ Bell and Tyler Young both went to the top, and it was clear by the time they got there, there was just no way Timothy could get down that quickly.
Timothy Peters had made it up to the 25th position, but damage to his number 17 truck. Back at the Bristol Motor Speedway, we are under caution. Caution out for the first time on lap 15 because of contact between Jake Crum and Brian Silas. Timothy Peters there in the 17 got into them. He had nowhere to go.
Yeah, the trucks of Crum and Silas were racing down into turn 1, and there just isn't really any reason for Brian Silas to cut down like that on Crum. There's plenty of room on the high side. He knew that guy was peeking to the bottom. He should have just rolled up to the top. He'd have probably held him off and saved both trucks. You just have to survive early in the going. When you got someone heaving you up on the bottom, just roll to the top.
And you wonder why some people may say, well, why didn't Timothy Peters just stop and turn left and miss them? He's already in the corner. As hard as he can get into the corner, you can't just stop these 3,400-pound vehicles on a dime like that.
Bob Dillner.
Jeff Burton, top 10 in points coming into Bristol. He was running 20th, but this truck is awful off the corner, way too tight, so they wanted to make a track bar adjustment.
Guys, you have to remember that these teams were supposed to race at nighttime with a lot cooler temperatures and a lot of rubber down the racetrack. So this is, I'm sure it's throwing a curve to a bunch of these crew chiefs.
And that bump was certainly a bump in the road for Timothy Peters, but it doesn't necessarily mean his chances for winning this race are over. That isn't enough damage, in my opinion, to hamper his progress. As long as there isn't a hole in that radiator, he's got a real shot.
We'll be right back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Just back underway here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Brad Keselowski jumps out to a little bit of a lead over Kyle Busch. Ron Hornaday, Cole Custer, Bubba Wallace Jr., Herman Quiroga all battling for that lead.
Just make a note, that 88 truck, another battle on the bottom that he prevails from. So that's a very strong truck, being able to run around the bottom of the racetrack and make progress. I like that as this race gets into its later stages, because everybody's going to want to run up top. Matt's got a truck he can go other places with, and he's going in a hurry.
We saw Bubba Wallace, the 54 truck, get by that 00 Cole Custer, and Bubba did it on the top of the racetrack.
So Matt Crafton in that yellow 88 took a look to the inside, but he now gets in line on board with Johnny Sauter. He's looking ahead at Herman Quiroga.
Remember, green racetrack here, no rubber down after that rain last night. All these drivers right now favoring the bottom of the race. We're going to see these trucks move up as the race wears on. Brad Keselowski took the outside on the restart, and he prevailed over Kyle Busch like Kyle did on the initial start.
Max Gresham looking to the high side of the racetrack.
There's a good shot of Ryan Blaney, that blue number 29. He was the highest placed truck that pitted during that caution flag, and he was running in the 13th spot, Hermie.
Well, you're right, Phil. The 29 of Ryan Blaney made a stop on pit road as well. He started 14th and was not going anywhere. The truck was way too tight, so they took advantage of that caution to come down pit road to make a chassis adjustment. They could not put fuel in prior to the competition caution, but trying to get Ryan Blaney better through the corners. Also, Timothy Peters came down pit road. The hood on the left side was up in the air. They used a baseball bat to get that down. They put two right side tires on it and a spring rubber in the right rear. But Timothy Peters is reporting the truck is still way too tight and has more damage they need to fix next time they come to pit road.
And through all that repair, the 17 truck able to not lose a lap.
Yeah, but he's in trouble, guys. He's struggling, can't get around Jody Knowles.
Not going anywhere really right now.
And the leaders are within a straightaway of him. So that election to go to the back after working on his truck after qualifying, in hindsight, was a mistake. He got involved in an accident, which you'll have at Bristol. You know that everywhere you're in danger of getting in someone else's mess, and Timothy did just that.
Cole Custer in the 5th position. Matt Crafton wants it.
See, Cole's moved up the racetrack in the middle now. Matt Crafton a little bit lower on the racetrack. This battle has stabilized here over the last few laps. We saw Matt take a run at Cole early on.
Battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th, and we go to Bob Dillner.
Greg Galding is in that 20 truck, and he's one of those teenagers we spoke about, just 16 years old. He's fighting for a championship in the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series East Division right now. But right now, he says his truck is awfully tight, but he's got a veteran leader here today for this team in crew chief Chris Chris Rice, and Chris Rice reminded him, he said, listen, Gray, it's going to be that way all day. Just roll the center and see what you can do coming up off the corner.
Gray Golding, 16 years old. Ben Rhodes, 17 years old. John Hunter Nemechek right behind, also 17 years old.
How about 3 teenagers racing here up in the top 10?
And Brandon Jones there joining that battle as well. Another one.
Another 17-year-old.
They're everywhere. That looked like an impressive move by Rhodes to get to the bottom of Golding and almost had him cleared off turn 2. But look, he couldn't clear Golding, and it cost him a spot to John Hunter. So it's so tough to pass on the bottom, and we see an example of it there. Not only did he not get the pass that he almost had completed, he lost his spot as well.
So Brendan Newberry able to use Jennifer Joe Cobb for a pick to get by Joey Coulter. It allowed Corey LaJoie, that 92 truck, to get by as well.
Jennifer Joe Cobb 2 laps down in the 31st position.
How about that power move by John Hunter Nemechek on the bottom of the racetrack, getting by the 20 of Gray Golding.
Ben Kennedy in the 31 battling for position with Max Gresham. Hermie Sadler has more in Kennedy.
Steve, the 31 of Ben Kennedy is going to the back. He has no brakes on that truck. His crew is telling him to try to get to the high side and just coast around the top and try to stay out of trouble until they get a chance to come to pit road, but no brakes on the 31 for Ben Kennedy.
And up front, Kyle Busch's truck seems to be a little bit better than Brad's now after they've got some laps on the tires. We're nearing the competition caution in 7 laps, and it looks like Brad is having problems holding Kyle off.
43 laps complete. Working traffic. Keselowski underneath the 50 of TJ Bell.
Brad's going to get a break there. Caught TJ at the right spot. That's going to put a little gap between himself and Kyle Busch, as well as the fact that TJ's truck's in between them right now.
And Kyle Busch finally makes quick work.
And that's Tyler Young just up ahead of our leader, Brad Keselowski, that's trying to hang on for all he can in the next 6 laps so that he doesn't go a lap down before this competition caution, but it's not to be. Now he's just going to hope Brad Keselowski doesn't go up and lap the next guy in line, who's Justin Boston, and put him a lap down. That will give Young a chance to get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap.
We have to let you know, though, that Timothy Peters, the 17 truck, did go a lap down, and he's not in position, as you mentioned, for the lucky dog. He's behind several trucks that are already a lap down.
And earlier you talked about it, Phil. We saw Matt Crafton close on Cole Custer on the bottom, almost had a move made on him, but now Cole's been able to make the top work and drive away from Matt. We talked about at the beginning of the show, the multiple grooves, the bearing banking allows these trucks to run all over the place. Sometimes it's just as simple as finding another spot on the racetrack in the corner to run. That'll enhance your truck's handling and allow you to pull away from a guy.
As you mentioned right there, the 25, Justin Boston would desperately love to stay on the lead lap here. We know the competition caution is coming within a lap or 2. Jeb Burton at 13 right in front of Justin Boston.
Just completed lap number 49.
And a good move by Justin Boston, and Brad Keselowski may consider it a block, but he needs to be on the lead lap here when they get this caution flag. If he can stay right there, even if Brad gets by him, there's the caution. He will stay on the lead lap.
So it's Keselowski, Kyle Busch, and the veteran Ron Hornaday.
That was a good battle by Boston, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yep. That will give Tyler Young, the lucky dog, the free pass, because Boston was able to stay on the lead lap in that 25 sloop truck.
We'll have to go back to the scoring lines, the data lines on the track, and make sure when the caution flew that Boston was indeed ahead of Keselowski, but it sure appeared he was. And we're getting confirmation from NASCAR that Boston is on the lead lap. So Justin Boston's biggest fan during those last couple laps, Tyler Young.
Yeah, absolutely.
He wanted to see Boston hang on to that lead lap so that 02 truck could then return to the lead lap via the lucky dog.
So 23 trucks remain on the lead lap. Competition yellow out. Lap 50 of 200 here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Leaders heading to pit road. Hermie Sadler.
Steve Cole Custer will bring his 00 truck to pit road a little bit free on entry, a little bit snug in the center, free on exit. It'll be 4 tires, air pressure for the 00, Bob.
Your leader, Brad Keselowski, in his stall right now. Brad just reporting to his crew that this truck is the best it's been since they've been here. No adjustments whatsoever, just fuel and 4 tires for Brad Keselowski. He likes his race truck and thinks the track is going to come to him. Now on the front stretch right now, John Hunter Nemechek is in the 8 machine. He's pulling into his pit. That truck just a little bit too tight for that 17-year-old, but he's climbing up the charts here, Hermie Sadler.
Ron Hornaday, 3rd place coming down pit road, a little bit snug for that truck. 4 tires, air pressure, Sunoco fuel. Kyle Busch talking about how his truck changed a little bit after that first caution. It'll be a race off pit road. Looks like the 51 will win. Chattering the tires in the center of the corner is Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch is going to use that great pit position to win that battle off pit road.
He got that pit position because he sat on the pole and he took advantage of it.
It's warming up here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Glad you're with us this morning. Kyle Busch with a bit of an advantage. He's in the middle of the track. Keselowski on the bottom.
How about Brad's going to fight back on the bottom of the racetrack?
Yeah, Matt Crafton got really loose off turn 2 over there. Good pit work by his team's got him up inside that top 5. Johnny Sauter is right behind his teammate there.
Ryan Blaney was a big winner on pit road. Came off pit road in the 10th spot.
Keselowski edges in front of Kyle Busch.
And you know, Phil, when you get the 10th spot, you're on the outside. You feel like you ought to be able to get a couple of spots on the restart, and that's what Blaney's been able to do. He's driven up to 8th after just 1 lap.
Well, Brad Keselowski is almost clearing Kyle Busch a couple times.
Kyle Busch noses back on the outside.
I'll tell you, the best time to make that bottom move work is right after a restart when the tires have cooled off a little bit. These guys have new tires here for that move.
The look from Kyle Busch from his race truck. And from the bumper cam of Ron Hornaday. Let's not forget Hornaday.
What a great view, though, out of the front bumper of that 30 truck of Ron Hornaday. See, Brad's going to tuck back in line. Get a good angle into the corner.
That makes me want to race again, Phil. I love that view. Just seeing those 2 up ahead battling. Ron Hornaday watching what they're doing, analyzing what his truck is feeling like, and trying to figure out what it's going to take to be able to go up there and race with those 2 like that. Oh, yeah, and by the way, they're lined up behind him, too. So you have to be looking every which direction in order to be able to make sure you understand where you are, not only on the track, but with your setup and with your team, so you can report to them the adjustments it's going to take to be able to go up there and race with the leaders.
That's the thing about these short races. With probably only 2 pit stops, you're only going to get 2 cracks at adjusting that truck.
I was going to ask, Phil, we put 4 tires on at lap 50. Do we come back at lap 100 and get another 4 if we get a chance, or do you think somebody will try to go all the way on just 1 pit stop?
I think with a few caution laps, they would be able to make it on fuel. They're just going to have to monitor how far off the tires are falling and how easy it is to pass to get back to the front. How many trucks on the lead lap? So a lot of things that the crew chiefs have to consider before they decide whether to make that next pit stop or not.
There you see Matt Crafton in the 88. He rides 4th. Bubba Wallace in the 54 just behind him. Bob Dillner.
Bubba Wallace 5th in points and 5th on the racetrack, as you alluded to, Steve Burns. And he had been running the bottom groove earlier on in the race, but his crew chief, Jerry Baxter, gave him a suggestion. He said, your teammate, your boss, Kyle Busch, was running the outside and running fast. Let's try that when you're single file. Well, here's what he thought of it during the competition caution.
About a 1 tight when I moved up there, so a little bit better up top. A good neutral on entries and landing. Snugs up a little bit right there.
5 top 5 finishes in the last 7 races. Bubba Wallace wants to contend for this title, hoping for a great run here today.
All right, thanks very much, Bob. Continue to watch them battle. It's the battle for the 4th position.
There's battles all over this track, Steve. Just a lap ago, John Hunter Nemechek drove up beside Ryan Blaney for that 8th spot. The two trucks touched off turn 2, but that's not uncommon here at Bristol. You touched on that before we started this race, Phil.
You know, Michael, to your point, there's battles everywhere. The first time I came here 30 years ago, I didn't know where to look because you couldn't take it all in. It's an amazing place.
How about this view out of Johnny Sauter's rear bumper cam, looking back at that 00 Haas Automation Chevy of Cole Custer.
Hermie has a report on Johnny Sauter.
Well, Steve, the 98 of Johnny Sauter, he's been trying to work the bottom of the racetrack more so than some of the other leaders. He really likes to work the bottom the shortest way around. Now, he made a track bar adjustment. They lowered the track bar on the right side on his first pit stop because the truck was a little bit free on entry. They may have gone a tad too far, but they still think there's some room for this racetrack to change. But right now, Johnny Sauter maintains his spot 6th right now on the racetrack.
I'll tell you, guys, that is in trouble early in this race is the 29 truck of Ryan Blaney. Good pit work got him up in the top 10. He moved to 8th, but he just got passed by John Hunter Nemechek. And now the 21 truck of Joey Coulter's attempting to go around Blaney too, and the truck's just loose. He's made adjustments ever since he's been in Bristol. It wouldn't turn in the center of the corner. He said it's just tight. I think the adjustments they've made is maybe have got it on the other side of the fence because he just can't turn through the center of the corner on the bottom without getting sideways. Remember, this 29 truck went to Michigan with the point lead, had trouble there, and early in the going here at Bristol, trouble again. So he's got to persevere to win a championship. You got to fight through these problems, and that's what he's attempting to do now.
Good run also for Joey Coulter, who started 19th. Meanwhile, Bubba Wallace pulling up on that bumper of Matt Crafton.
Yeah, we heard Bubba talking about his truck is pretty good up top here, but having to use that bottom to try to get by the 88 of Matt Crafton.
Kyle Busch in that 51 by TJ Bell in the 50.
You'd have to say the 51 and the 19 are pretty well evenly matched, huh? Looked like Kyle was able to hold off Brad as he's doing now, but Brad was able to hold off Kyle. I think in the longer run, though, Phil, I like the 51 truck. That Dollar General Toyota seems to have the handling that it's going to need to be able to sustain that lead late in the race.
Remember, Brad was able to use some lap trucks to get that lead away early on.
80 laps complete here at Bristol. That man, Kyle Busch, is your leader. Busch and Brad Keselowski negotiate lap traffic.
Yeah, those trucks were all on the lead lap, trying to stay on the lead lap. They've been able to put most of them down. There's a 25 Justin Boston. Brandon Jones, who got in the wall a little bit early without a lot of damage in that 33 truck. He now is a lap down as well.
17 trucks remain on the lead lap at lap 90 of 200. There, the battle again. Bubba Wallace and Matt Crafton.
I think Bubba's going to prevail right here. He got a good run up off that corner that allowed him to get by the 88 of Matt Crafton.
That the battle for 4th position.
31 truck of Ben Kennedy, who's already a lap down, is right in front of Bubba. Ben's running a middle to high. Bubba's going to move by on the inside.
Yeah, hearing earlier that Ben Kennedy having issues with his brakes.
Yeah, that's not good at Bristol. You know, you don't use a whole lot of brakes here, but it certainly helps you drive this racetrack. If you can just lean on them a little bit, getting in the corner, sort of set your nose, it helps you throughout the whole turn. And we've seen Ben struggling since the race started.
Nice move by Bubba, and heavy traffic right there. Split those two trucks, the 10 of Jennifer Jo Cobb, the 80 of Jody Knowles. Open up about a 6 truck length gap over Matt Crafton.
Hermie on Matt Crafton.
Steve, the longer he runs in this run, the truck is getting too loose on entry. More importantly, too loose under acceleration off the corner. They're anxious to get that 88 back on pit road and find some more forward grip, Bob.
How about the 92 of Corey LaJoie, 22 years old. He's the son of two-time Busch Series champion Randy LaJoie, running in 12th right now. That truck's just way too tight for him. But I had a great conversation with him. The LaJoies have never been known to mince words. He said, he qualified 21st. He said, we don't have a good qualifying truck. We don't have the capability of qualifying well. But that truck was very good in race runs yesterday, and he is proving it here today. He told me yesterday that this team is capable, certainly, of a top 10 run at Bristol, making his 2nd start in the Debbie World Truck Series this year.
Well, it's fun also, Bob, love to see his words come true. He said it'll handle good in the longer run, and we've seen him really cut up through the field. He's currently in the 12th spot, like Bob said, but the leader is just a couple of trucks back. So Corey LaJoie will need to keep picking them off if he wants to stay on the lead lap. The next guy ahead of him last week went into the race leading the points, Ryan Blaney. He's in trouble too.
From the rear bumper of Johnny Sauter, looking back at the 00 of 16-year-old Cole Custer, who started on the front row alongside the KB show.
Yeah, Cole showed a lot of patience this race. He said he wanted to log some laps, be there at the end, and he's doing a nice job of that.
We're halfway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. The Unoh 200 presented by Zloop.
Our teenagers are falling off the lead lap quite quickly here. That truck, the 00 of Cole Custer, still hanging in there, but and John Hunter Nemechek, but we just watched Ben Rhodes and Greg Alding go a lap down. There's our leader, Kyle Busch, down into turn 3. You can see Brad Keselowski caught in traffic. Oh, how did he get a squeeze in there?
Your middle, Harry, your middle.
He's not, is the answer to that question.
Exactly.
See, John West Townley, too. Strong run for John West. He was able to hang on to the lead lap, currently in 15th spot.
Greg Alding, the 20, moves down to the bottom to give the outside line to the second place running Brad Keselowski.
Kyle Busch has led laps here in 4 previous races, and he's won all 4 of them. Looking for his 5th win. He's led 3 times for 61 laps.
One huge advantage for Kyle Busch is, as the leader, he gets to that lap traffic first, and he's been able to parlay that into about a half a straightaway lead now over Brad, about a second 2/10.
Doesn't get his right rear so much in the white there in the center of 3 and 4.
That just means he's telling Brad where Kyle's going. And you can see Brad's all the way up in the white. That's how the spotters explain to the driver what other guys are doing. Brad all the way up in the white, and Kyle still down out of it into the groove. So there's more grip up there in that white, I believe. So Brad's taking advantage of that, trying to close back in on Busch.
Kyle Busch at the point, followed by Keselowski, Hornaday, Bubba Wallace, and Matt Crafton.
Yeah, put some fluid down on the racetrack. You see him right in front of Greg Galding. I think he realized something was going wrong, drove right off the racetrack. Good heads-up move by Jody Knowles.
So caution out for the 3rd time on lap 111. We go to Hermie Sadler.
Impressive run so far by Cole Custer in the 00. He needs a little bit of help turning the center of the corner. They'll bring this truck in, 4 tires and an adjustment. Long way to get this truck down pit road, but it will make 4 tires, a little bit of a wedge adjustment in the left rear for the 00. Bob?
Brad Keselowski's truck is the last one on the backstretch pits. It'll be 4 tires and fuel. Honestly, no adjustments because Keselowski believes this track is going to continue to come to him just a little bit tight up off the corner. On the front stretch side of the pits, we have a bunch of people pitting right there, including the number 8 on the top left part of your screen, John Hunter Nemechek, running in the top 10 right now. The 17-year-old, the son of Joe Nemechek, a Sprint Cup Series winner. He's got to get that truck to turn a little bit more in the corners, Hermie Sadler.
No adjustments for Ron Hornaday, P3 on the racetrack. He also thinks the track will come to him. Kyle Busch wants help in the center, but does not want to lose the nose on exit. He will win the battle off pit road after 4 tires.
All right, thanks, guys. Ready to reset. Let's go.
Got Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski leading this race, and Corey LaJoie got the free pass under that last caution and has returned to the lead lap.
We had 3 waiver rounds, too. Ben Rhodes, Brandon Jones, and Jeb Burton now back on the lead lap.
15 trucks on the lead lap, and we are back underway at Bristol.
Not a great start by Custer. You can see Hornaday jump in that spot. Take it away from Cole Custer. Cole Custer just got 2 tires. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. He gained some track position. He was running with 7th, now up inside the top 5.
We've seen a tremendous battle up front between the veterans Kyle Busch and Keselowski. Keselowski trying to win in the trucks for the first time.
Remember, this is the best opportunity to make that bottom work here. Fresh tires right after a restart.
What about the respect between these two? They're racing each other very hard, but they've yet to bump. That could be because there's 80 to go. You get them down to about 20 to go. Brad Keselowski looking to win his first truck race at Bristol. Could be the old bump and run coming.
the view from Kyle Busch's truck. What about Ron Hornaday? He's right in the picture.
Certainly is. You can never count that young driver out, Ron Hornaday.
Didn't we say grizzled veteran?
Yes.
What about Hornaday? The adjustments, you know, that's 2 adjustments. These drivers have had a chance to talk to their crew chiefs, explain to them exactly what their trucks are doing, and then the crew chiefs work on them. So it looks like Hornaday's latest adjustment is spot on. He's able to keep pace with these 2 leaders.
Let's listen to Ron Hornaday on his radio.
Talking John over here about your carburetor. Did it go back to good, or do we need to do something here?
Darn, I mean, what do I waste my time talking, dude? I told you, the fuel pressure's back to 9 pounds. 4 or 5 laps ago before the thing came out, it went back. Before it was peg flood down. Now it's back to 9, we're good.
All right.
Bristol has a tendency to frustrate you, too.
I said it's not.
And, you know, it's really hard to talk. That was under caution, obviously, but you gather all your thoughts and hope for a chance at... Oh, Collins's too high.
He was way high up and had all 4 tires up in the white part at the top of the racetrack, and Brad pounced on it.
And here comes Hornaday to the bottom, a 2-time winner here at Bristol.
It may take a lap or 2 for Kyle Busch's tires to get cleaned off there from being so high on the racetrack. I think they're okay now.
Brad's going to find out that they're okay, too, because he'll return to his tailgate. It's interesting. We saw Brad up with 2 tires up in the white, and it looked like Kyle maybe was trying that line and just got too high.
Because we know in the Cup race for sure. Let's take a look at what happened here. You see Kyle drives down in turn number 3, drives in high, gets all 4 tires up in the white. No grip up there yet, and Brad Keselowski just drives by.
On board with Kyle Busch, and there goes Brad Keselowski right by him to the bottom. The view from Ron Hornaday's front bumper. Let's go to Hermie.
Steve, Kyle Busch has been quiet since he slipped up the racetrack and gave up the lead to Brad Keselowski. But very interesting what he said as he was coming down pit road on this last caution. He said, I think the 19 is pretty good. It can run with us for about 20 laps, and I think we're the better truck. That will have to be the case if, in fact, he's going to run him back down and pass him back for the lead, Bob.
That's pretty interesting, Hermie, because Brad Keselowski thought both trucks were pretty equal. Keselowski saying he was just a little bit tight, but honestly, he told his crew chief, Doug Randolph, I have saved some stuff for the latter part of the race in this truck. So he believes that he's got just a little bit better truck on the long run, but both are pretty equal.
And guys, both of those drivers and teams are so good. That could have been the pass for the win right there. And they don't make very many mistakes between those 2 drivers. That may have been one mistake that could cost them the race.
That's how tough truck racing is. You make one little slip and you give a guy like Brad Keselowski a gift like Kyle did there by getting out of the groove. He could just take that advantage all the way to the check room.
15 trucks on the lead lap, just completing lap 133 of 200.
But I guarantee you, Brad Keselowski hasn't heard the last of Kyle Busch. Looks like we said earlier, I agree with Busch. That truck is stronger on the longer run, and he's starting to already close back in on Keselowski.
Yeah, Brad's not going to give the top of the racetrack up, though. Kyle's going to get by him. I think he's going to have to do it on the bottom or catch him in some lap traffic. Remember, Brad was the first truck that put his right side tires up in the white like he is right now.
Keselowski has been at the point 3 times for a total of 54 laps. Kyle Busch starting to cut into that lead.
Yeah, catching him is one thing, passing him is another. Again, you don't see these 2 drivers make very many mistakes. That one mistake that Kyle made, getting up a little bit too high, up into the white at the top of the racetrack, that gave the lead away, that may come back to haunt him.
This is a classic battle between a couple of guys that are pretty good in the Cup Series, and they're showing out their strength here in the trucks, and it's man against man right now. They're able to drive just a bit away from Hornaday. Hornaday's been able to hang with them much better this run, but this is a couple of Cup winners, truck guys that are making it happen right now.
It's a good battle right here. That 32 truck of Ben Rhodes took the waiver on. He's on the lead lap. The 20 of Greg Galding, the 05 John West Town. Both those trucks 1 lap down, racing for the 17th spot.
Galding had high hopes. I heard him on the radio last night leaving the racetrack, and he really thought they could make a strong run to the front, but it hasn't happened here this morning.
Such a pace that's been set by Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski. I mean, if you're just the slightest bit off, as Brad moves around the lap truck of Jimmy Weller on the 08, that allows the 51 of Kyle Busch to close up within a couple truck lengths. If you're not really on your game as good as those two trucks that right there in first and second, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough day.
It just happens in such a hurry, Phil. I mean, you look in your mirror and here comes the leaders and you think, how could that happen? I'm running strong. But the pace here is just so hectic that people get lapped in a hurry.
Speaking of which, Michael, they just went by Mason Mingus in the 35. His truck 4 laps in arrears.
We need to follow up on the Timothy Peters story. Remember, trouble early on. 4 laps down in 27th right now.
Ooh. Brad down on the very bottom of the racetrack. You can see from Kyle Busch's truck how tight it got as they raced into turn 1.
Then you're just hoping that Jimmy Weller realizes you're there, or his spotter does. See, Ben Rhodes has been able to get by the 20 of Greg Gaulding and the 05 of John West Townley. Right now, Ben runs just outside the top 10 in the 11th spot.
He's taking advantage of that wave around that he took. He's got a fast enough truck to hang on the lead lap. Maybe an adjustment away from being a contender for a top 5 is Ben Rhodes.
Looking at a battle for third. Ron Hornaday has it. Bubba Wallace wants it.
Yeah, Bubba's been strong this entire race. That's, whoa, sideways, there's some contact.
Gaulding, the 05, John West Townley into the wall twice. Caution is out for the 4th time on lap 145.
They look like they just couldn't get away from each other. They got together coming off turn 2. Something may have happened earlier in 1 and 2.
I was watching it, Phil, as they drove into turn 1. Townley went up the hill to try to crowd a little bit. He was trying to get that spot away from the 20 of Gaulding, so he went in high and just simply got loose in the center of the corner, and that began what ended a wreck down into turn 3. If you wonder how a wreck happens, well, that one started in the middle of 1 and 2 and ended into turn 3.
Justin Boston, that 25's loop. Toyota also with some damage from that incident. A lot of damage to that Zaxby's Toyota for John West Townley.
Check this out. These guys have been battling side by side. Look, Townley tries to enter high, gets sideways there, and that begins it.
Brendan Newberry able to sneak by on the outside.
Brandon Jones and Justin Boston were just in the wrong place at the wrong time at Bristol. You can see Newberry all out of shape, but still hangs on to his truck.
Yeah, watch the 33, and he's going to try to get by on the inside, and John West Townley is there.
And he gets hit on the inside as well. Both sides of that 33 truck pretty well used up.
It's going to be a real break for Ben Rhodes. Remember, he took the wave around, stayed on the lead lap, just outside the top 10. That's going to give him an opportunity to come down pit road, put his last set of tires on, and actually have fresher tires than the rest of them.
Ben Kennedy in the 31 also on pit road. We reported he's had brake issues.
Coming to pit road that time was Ryan Blaney, who was running in the 10th spot along with Armand Quiroga, some of our lead lap trucks. And like you said, Phil, Ben Rhodes comes to pit road as well.
Jeff Burton's going to get 4 tires in the 13 and a chassis adjustment. We'll step aside for just a moment. Glad you're with us here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, still your leaders. Hornaday, Bubba Wallace, and Matt Crafton in your top 5. Now take a look at this graphic. Do you think Brad Keselowski knows these numbers?
Yes.
I guarantee you.
And if he doesn't, we remind him about them all the time.
And if he wins this race, I bet you the first thing he says is, now y'all can leave me alone. Because people start every interview with, you've never won a truck race, Brad.
And oh, by the way, Kyle Busch has finished better than you in 21 of the 24 head-to-head battles.
Now you're just getting into details, and I don't want to hear those.
Now it's getting personal.
You've taken it to another level.
You just went next level.
This is a big restart, as
so
all
important,
of them
so important restart. Again, this may be Kyle's opportunity here to try to make something happen on this restart.
He goes to the bottom.
Look at that run off turn 2. Brad gets in. Is he going to bring Bubba with him?
Is Bubba going to let his boss man in? He's not. He's going to get up beside his boss man.
That 54 truck has been really strong. He's able to keep pace with Hornaday back in the 4th spot. Now that he has a track position and less than 50 to go, can he do something with Brad Keselowski?
So it's Keselowski, Wallace, Kyle Busch, Hornaday, Sauter, Crafton, and John Hunter Nemechek. What a run there in the A truck for the 17-year-old, the son of Joe Nemechek.
He jumps to the outside of Matt Crafton in the battle. He's got position on Matt Crafton right now in the preferred spot on the outside. What an outstanding job for John Hunter.
Looking from Johnny Sauter's truck back at John Hunter Nemechek.
We know John Hunter's not afraid to run on the outside of somebody. We saw him do it at Gateway lap after lap, battling for the lead.
Bob Dillner.
Steve, I asked John Hunter Nemechek and his dad Joe before the race, what was their plan of attack here? And he said, honestly, we just need to survive. He's been so close to some great runs and challenging for wins already here in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. This kid's got some talent, and he's certainly showing it here today. That truck at this point in the race, just a little bit too loose coming off the corner for John Hunter.
John Hunter has 5 starts. This year, Bob, best finish of 6th, which he's done twice.
What about that move by Ben Rhodes? He was able to squeeze to the outside of Armand Quiroga, and now he's going after Jeb Burton. Rhodes took the wave around on our caution before last, and look, he's driven inside the top 10. Fast truck, too.
Battle for 2nd. Kyle Busch to the bottom. Bubba Wallace on the high side.
Kyle Busch knows right now that he cannot beat Brad from 3rd. He's going to have to make something happen. He's going to get by his teammate and protege in order to go up there and chase down that 19 truck.
Kyle again hunting the bottom.
Brad Keselowski was a 1/10 of a second faster than this battle for 2nd the last time around. So as Kyle and Bubba battle, Brad drives away.
Bob Dillner.
Remember, Bubba Wallace has been one of the hottest drivers in the series, 5 top 5s in the last 7 races. And remember what his crew chief Jerry Baxter told him earlier today. Go to the top side. That's where the 51 is good. I'm sure Bubba Wallace thinking about that. No adjustments for him on that last pit stop because that truck is that good.
He's driving away from Kyle Busch, too. He opened up a few truck lengths over Kyle. Look at the gap right there.
That was interesting. Kyle caught him, battled beside him, but then as soon as Bubba cleared Kyle, he just drove away. In fact, that time by, Bubba Wallace was the fastest truck on the track. He ran a 15.82, a full 2/10 of a second faster than our leader. How about that?
Bubba Wallace is on it. As Bob said, one of the hottest drivers in the series right now. You see him running the same groove that Brad Keselowski's running, with the right sides up in the white. Good battle between the ThorSport teammates right here. That's a battle for the 5th spot.
And they're 1-2 in the point standings.
They both have been able to get by John Hunter. We saw John Hunter get by the 88 of Matt Crafton. Both Matt and Johnny Sauter have gotten by John Hunter. John Hunter's back to 7th.
John Hunter must have got up a little too high and slipped because he was driving away from that battle between the ThorSport teammates, and now he falls and finds himself behind them.
Just 35 laps remaining here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
Did we mention it happens in a hurry here at Bristol? We're down to 35 to go.
And Bubba Wallace is there.
And Kyle Busch is not. Kyle's fallen off from this lead battle.
Bubba Wallace, a 2-time winner this season.
You know, Brad Keselowski expected to battle a KBM truck for the win of this race here, but I think he probably would have thought it would have been that yellow one, number 51.
He's got his hands full now with Bubba Wallace. 2 wins so far this season for Bubba, and look, he's able to cut down to the bottom of the racetrack. If he's going to pass Brad, that's exactly how he's going to have to do it. He can catch him running high, but he won't pass him.
And on the bottom here.
So Bubba Wallace pulling closer to the 19, pulling up to that rear bumper.
It's just amazing how fast the laps click by here. Every 16 seconds, another lap in the books, and these guys are running sub 16-second laps every lap.
So Bubba Wallace has 29 laps to figure out a winning move.
And that's exactly what he's doing, Steve. While he's tracking Brad Keselowski, he's trying to...
Lappers here. I'll get you to do the best I can, man. Oh, Wade's going to be the first one.
That's spotter Joey Meyer talking to Brad Keselowski. He's just trying, not only is he racing with Keselowski, but he's also trying to move that truck around just a little bit, maybe a little lower in the turns, trying to figure out how he's going to be able to pull off this pass.
Heavy traffic in front of the leaders. Keselowski low, Wallace high.
Wow. Brad got pretty fortunate there.
Wow, what a move by Bubba Wallace to go around the top side.
Bubba's getting closer and closer, just about able to stick the nose underneath that left rear quarter panel of Keselowski's truck.
And you know who's closing in while these guys messing with traffic? Look at that yellow truck. He's about a straightaway behind just 4 or 5 laps ago, and now he's joined this battle for the lead.
Hermie Sadler.
Well, Steve, Kyle has not said a whole lot on the radio since he dropped back to the 3rd position, other than to say he was struggling a little bit on entry, but his spotter did say, hang tight, the leaders are getting ready to get in lap traffic, and we'll take one more shot at the leaders, and he has arrived in P3 on the back bumper of Bubba Wallace.
And Hermie, he has there.
Got sideways there, though, Steve, a little bit in the center of the corner, and look at the gap. That's how quick it happens at Bristol. One little bobble.
Bubba too high, in the wall.
Kyle, too.
I got you. Keep it up there. Inside. Inside. May have a flat here, guys. Be ready.
We remain under green for the time being.
Right rear flat. Right rear flat.
Kyle Busch slows.
10. Clear.
This flat right rear tire is taking that 51 truck of Kyle Busch out of contention here.
Huge development here with just 22 laps to go. Hermie Sadler.
You can see the damage on the right rear where Kyle Busch got into the outside wall. A flat right rear tire. Remember, on the green, you can come down your own pit road. You do not have to go all the way around. That will help a little, but it'll be 2 right side tires in a disappointing finish for Kyle Busch.
Well, Michael, you said earlier, everything happened so quickly here, so fast.
Just rubbing that outside wall could have got a fender into his tire. Oh, now Gray Galding's high off turn 4. Maybe a flat tire.
It's time now for our Camping World. 20 to go. Just 20 laps remain. Gray Galding to your right. He slows on the racetrack.
He's able to get back down to the bottom. He had to wait for an opening to do that.
I think Galding might have a flat as well. And Brad's breathing. He's got a gap. He gets down inside that Camping World. 20 to go, especially here at Bristol. Anything can happen. A gap is nice.
Another look at Kyle Busch.
Watch Bubba. He slides up out of the groove into the wall, and his teammate Kyle Busch the same thing.
I think Kyle's right rear tire was already down. Bubba just got a little bit high, got all 4 tires up in that white, and got in the outside wall. You can see the 51 wiggling there. Bubba's going to drive in there, make some slight contact with all, and Kyle does a great job keeping that truck straight.
Got a problem with that right rear fender. I think he bent it when he hit the wall, and so therefore they're trying to pull it out.
Yeah, it takes Kyle completely out of contention now. He's being shown 5 laps down with just 16 to go.
So the big question is, can this Sprint Cup Series champion hang on for his first Camping World Truck Series win? And in terms of family, his father Bob, also a winner in the Camping World Truck Series.
He won at Richmond back a number of years ago, early on in the Truck Series.
And Brad came on the NASCAR map in a truck race over at Memphis, Tennessee some years ago, and that's when people said this kid can drive, and look what he's been able to parlay that truck race into. That's why this truck series is so fun. All these teenagers racing. Who will be the next NASCAR Sprint Cup champion to emerge from the truck series? I think we're seeing a lot of teenagers that have the ability to be just that.
And I think it's a great opportunity to test their skills against the very best in the business. There's a reason that Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch race on Sunday, because they're that good. And Bubba Wallace right now is pretty darn close. He's had a great truck here. And Bob, he's wheeling the heck out of that thing.
And the team, Phil, keeps on reminding him how many laps to go. The day is not done for Bubba Wallace. He told me before he got in the truck this morning, he was so excited to run this race. When they called it last night because of rain, he couldn't sleep. He got up early this morning, and he wanted to avenge the electrical issue that he had here last year. He is not done. He's searching for a groove and some grip coming off the corner.
10 laps to go, Bob Dillner. Just 10 laps remaining for Brad Keselowski to nail down his first Camping World Truck Series win. There you see Ron Hornaday in the 30 truck. He rides third. Matt Crafton in that bright yellow 88. He is fourth.
How about a solid run for Ron Hornaday here? Coming back off a great run last week at Michigan. Another solid run for that 30 team.
I'm just continue to be impressed with John Hunter Nemechek. You're talking about solid runs. He's up in the 6th spot. Cole Custer's in 8th after getting just 2 tires on his last stop.
Ben Rhodes has parlayed a wave around into a top 10 run, right now running 9th.
And Corey LaJoie has fought his way up inside the top 10. Corey's been very impressive today.
A great job by Corey LaJoie.
Brad Keselowski says, let's just finish this baby off. No cautions, ride home. But as I look around the track field, they're side by side. Several different places this track, so anything can happen. We know how quickly things go wrong at Bristol, and that's the battle for 10th. Jeff Burton's wanting that spot away from Corey LaJoie.
Both those young drivers doing an outstanding job here. Jeff Burton's truck was not good early on. They made some adjustments, made it better, and here he is battling for a top 10.
And just behind those two, Max Gresham, talking about another solid run. He's in the 12th spot on the lead lap. Those two get together just a bit, Gresham will be there.
And Ryan Blaney, that 29 truck, remember our point leader going into Michigan, right behind Max Gresham. Right now Ryan Blaney shown in 13th.
Not a great day for Blaney. It hasn't been a good trip to Bristol for him. I spoke to him yesterday in the garage area. He said it won't turn. We just can't get our truck to turn. We saw him loose early in the race. Looks like it's back to pushing again.
Bubba Wallace is closing in a little bit on Brad Keselowski. Bubba's the fastest truck by 3/10 that last lap.
And look at the traffic that lies ahead for these guys. We know how tough traffic has been to negotiate, and they're side by side, lap truck side by side ahead of our leader.
Just 3 laps remaining.
Heavy traffic is going to allow Bubba to close in.
Watch back to Bubba.
Right on the rear bumper. Can Keselowski hang on with 2 to go?
Remember that gap that Brad was enjoying?
Clear.
Keselowski through turn 4. White flag for the 19.
Bubba got a little bit loose off of turn 4. Cost him another couple truck lengths.
Down the backstretch, Keselowski into 3.
He's going to do it, Steve.
Off of turn 4, Brad Keselowski will win for the first time in the Camping World Truck Series.
Did it, boys. We did it. Thank you, everybody. Way to bounce back from last week.
So Brad Keselowski holds off Bubba Wallace. Ron Hornaday credited with 3rd, but all the celebration for Brad Keselowski for all his success. His first win in the Camping World Truck Series. His father, Bob, won at Richmond in 1997.
This truck series means so much to Brad Keselowski. As you mentioned, this is the Keselowski family spent a lot of time in this truck series. I know this one means so much to Brad.
He becomes the 25th NASCAR racer to win in NASCAR's 3 top series: trucks, nationwide, and sprint cup.
That's an amazing statistic. An amazing accomplishment, let's put it that way.
And he's doing a really nice burnout up the bank. He's losing the battle.
He's losing the battle.
Oh, he's coming back.
Let's go to Bob Dillner.
An awesome sight for everybody on the 19 team, including crew chief Doug Randolph. While everybody was celebrating out there, Doug came to the back of the pit box, and you just had a moment to yourself. It looks like you got tears in your eyes. What are you thinking right now?
Yeah, just really excited for Brad. The draw tight forward was phenomenal today. Relief for him. He's wanted this so bad for so long. So really proud of this team, this organization. Had a tough week last week, bounced back this week, and just really excited for Brad. Like I said, he's wanted this, maybe a little too much sometimes, but sure he's relieved as well.
Go celebrate in victory lane with Brad. Tears of joy from Doug Randolph and this team.
are the best tears in the world, to just want something so bad and work so hard for it, and then to have an appreciation of how difficult it is. And when it all comes together, it just overtakes your emotions.
And I think Brad's going to be happy that he can shut us up now and not talk about the fact that he hasn't won a truck race.
Yep. Brad Keselowski celebrating with the American flag.